Hello everybody and welcome to another YouTube video from Routemaster for Hire. As you can see, we are back on RM1214. That's the good news. The bad news is we're not quite ready to put that Wrexham back on the walls just yet. Well, we're ready. The country isn't ready to allow us to do that job. And that's because we are coming out of those coronavirus lockdowns. Restrictions are being lifted, but unfortunately, whilst we're allowed to go back to work, we can't all work together at the moment. It's a 3 or 4 man job to do the Wrexham, and we can't socially distance inside this bus doing that job. So the Wrexham is going to have to wait until the Welsh Government relax the rules a little bit more. So what we're going to do in the meantime is do a whole load of those last minute finishing touch jobs. There's a list a mile long of little jobs that I want to get done on this bus before she joins the fleet. And that's what this video is about, finishing touches. There's a whole load of them, so let's get busy. Okay, so one of the finishing touches that I've been looking forward to getting on with is sorting these wheels out. Both the rims and the hub are the wrong colour. Now you may recall in an earlier video we swapped all the wheels on this bus for all the wheels on another bus. And if you want to know why we did that, go back and watch episode 10, all will be explained there. But as a result of that work, we've left RM1214 with the wrong colour wheels. That needs sorting out. And these hubs, this horrible yellow, who paints hubs yellow? Certainly not London Transport. So the hubs are going to get painted and the wheels are going to get repainted as well. That is the next job on the list, and that's what we're going to be cracking on with today. It's such good paint this. I love painting with it. If you want to know where we get it from, drop me a message in the box below. That looks better already, doesn't it? Wait for that to dry, give that another coat tomorrow, but for now we're going to crack on and paint the wheel. This is where you've got to be careful you don't paint the tyre. There you go. The light in here is not the best for looking at paint. Very difficult to see the bits you've missed. But I'm happy with that. Wait for that to dry and we'll give that another coat tomorrow. Well, as you can see, we've spun the bus around and we're now concentrating on the front. The backs are done, they're finished, and they do look really good. I haven't shown you what they look like yet because I'm going to keep you waiting just a little bit longer. But trust me, it'll be worth the wait. I'm going to show you the whole bus when we've done all 4 wheels. Now, as you can see on this side, some lazy git has only painted this part of the drum, and that's because when the wheel's on, this is the only bit that you can see. So they cut a lot of corners by only painting this end bit, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to paint the whole lot. Because if you're going to paint something, you might as well paint it all, mightn't you? So far, so good. So our first finishing touch job is almost at an end, and it's taken us a week to get to this part. The front wheels are just drying now. As soon as the paint is dry, they're going to go back on the bus. And while we're waiting for that paint to dry, we're going to pay some attention to the nut guard rings. Now you may remember when we took these off the bus, they were completely painted. They've been in the sandblaster. We've got the chrome back on the outside edge. It needs a bit of a polish, but I think we'll get it back to quite a nice shiny finish. What we're going to do now though is fine line around the edge, because it's this inside bit that needs painting. So of course the paint needs some attention, so that's what we're going to do today. Fine line is here. Let's see how good we are at getting a complete circle with some fine line. A bit of a tricky job this. You need a very steady hand, something I haven't got normally. Okay, so the nut guard rings have now had 2 coats of Indian red paint on the inside, and we've polished up the outside as well, and they've come up pretty good as well. They were never new, they're never going to be perfect, but they're good enough for me. So here comes my favourite job. I love doing this bit. I'm going to peel off the fine line, and hopefully we'll have a nice straight edge of paint all the way around the rim. Let's see how this goes. So far so good. Boom. It's not perfect. There's a little bit of over painting in places, but generally speaking, I'm happy with those. They're only going on the wheels. They don't have to be perfect. But no, I'm happy with that one. Should we try the second one? Where's the edge of this one? It's very satisfying, this. And it's off. I think this is the better one, so we'll put this one on the near side. But I'm pleased with them. That's one little job done. Nearly there now. The wheels are nearly finished. Well, I did say I was going to keep you waiting until we've done all the wheels on the bus before I showed you what we'd done. Remember what they looked like before? Well, here comes the bus for the first time with a new paint job on the wheels. Check these out. Okay, there you have it. That's the first finishing touch job done. Bit of a long one. It's taken us over 7 days to get the wheels done. But I'm sure you agree it was well worth the effort, because they look so much nicer compared to what they looked like 7 days ago. Right, now before we go any further, you must be enjoying this video because you're still here. So thank you very much for watching so far. If you are enjoying this video, please remember to hit the like button and give us that thumbs up. You don't know how important a thumb is, because the more people that like our videos, the more YouTube will put our video and our channel out to people that may not have found us yet. So for a young channel like ours, the only way we can grow is for you guys to give us that thumb. So please, if you haven't done it already, do it now. Hit that thumbs up and give us a like. Thank you very much. Right, we've still got so many more little finishing touches jobs to do on this bus. We're going to crack on with those after I've had a cup of tea. Right, here's another finishing touch job, and one that I thought was going to be a very quick job, but how wrong I was, because I've had these, what are they called again, Alan?
Garage stencil plates.
Garage stencil plates for a while. They've been repainted and refurbed, and they look lovely. But the thing is though, when you hold them up against the bus, they are the wrong colour. I'm not sure the camera can pick this up, but these were painted with RAL 3001 paint. We think the bus is RAL 3002. So there is a slight change of shade of red, and it really sticks out. It's probably emphasised a little bit inside the unit here with the LED lights that we've got in the ceiling, but I'm not sure if you can see that. They are very, very different shades of red. So before I can do this job, I'm going to have to repaint these again. I thought it was going to be a case of just riveting them onto the body on this side and of course on the off side as well. But no, got to paint them again. That's what we're going to crack on with now. Okay, so the running plate holders have now had a chance to dry, and as you can see when I hold it up against the bus, there is still a difference in the shade of the red of the bus and the red of the holders, and I'm going to have to live with that because I was never going to match exactly the red on the bus and the red on the plates, because the problem with the bus is I don't know how long it's been since this bus had a respray. It's been quite a few years, I imagine. But what I do know is with the previous owner, this bus was kept outside for a couple of years. So the baking hot sun in the summer would have faded this red quite a lot. So I was never going to match the shade exactly. But that's close enough. Plus, don't forget, when the running plate stencils are in, they're going to hide most of this red anyway. So only the edges are going to be visible. So I'm going to have to live with it. So I've got the screws ready. Let's see if we can get this back on the bus without scratching anything. Right, well there's two holes I can't get screws in, so I'm going to have to leave them. I don't know what the problem is. But having not repanelled this bus, you just don't know what's behind there. But it's okay, because once those stencils go on, you won't see the screws anyway. And now for the piece de la resistance. There you go. Doesn't that look so much nicer now? Shouldn't really have had to have hammered that in place, but Lisa's going to got some stroke nick in it. You have it. Right, there you go. The stencils are in, and doesn't that look so much better? And do you see what I mean about the red? You can't really see that the red doesn't match the rest of the body now that the eye is kind of attracted to the two aluminium plates instead of the red. So that's good news. We just got the offside to do, and then we can tick this job off the list. But don't go anywhere, because there's still a lot more to do with regards to the little finishing touches jobs that we need to do on this bus. Ear, what's going on here? These ears here are the wrong colour. They shouldn't be black. So we're going to take them off of here and paint them the right colour. They should be red. So they're coming off of here right now. Right, first job is then to get the offside indicator ear off. And looking at it now, the first time I've had a proper close look at it, look at that horrible Jubilee clip holding it on. That's just horrible. I think I might have a spare one of these with a proper clip through it. So if I can find it, I'll replace. Right, the easiest way of getting these off is to undo these bolts that hold the bracket onto the body. So that's what we're going to try and undo. Hopefully I won't snap any of the heads. Now I think I've brought enough tools with me, but now I'm up the ladder, what's the bet and I have to go down a good few times back to the toolbox because there's something I've forgotten. You can probably see these bolts have been painted on. These are going to be very hard to get undone without snapping. Let's try this one. They're painted on so hard. Let's give that a try. I know what I'll do. I'll get this out of the way. That's better. It's turning, but I don't know whether it's about to snap. Let's just do it on. No, I think I got it. Got it. Right, just do it up a little bit. Help freeze it off inside and go back again. Can feel that getting harder again. Wind it back in and back out. That's better. These have obviously been on a very long time and painted on as well. Nearly there. First one out. There you go. Look at that. One down, 3 to go. Get that paint off and it might fit. I moved a little bit. Bollocks. Snapped it. Oh. This one's come out nice and easy. There you are. Why can't they all be as easy as that? Get that paint off. Right, let's see how good this one is at coming off. Oh, it's hard again. These front ones have obviously been exposed to a lot more of the elements, so they're probably a lot more rusted inside. It's moving. Just do it slowly. I have a nasty feeling this one's going to snap as well. So that'll be two we've got to drill out. Another one snapped. So here it comes. Hopefully there's a chocolate block. There is. I don't know what that wire is. I don't know if you can see that. There's a wire that's been completely crushed. It's been completely crushed between the bracket and the bus, but I don't know what that feeds, but we'll slip that back in there. It's got a gasket there, look, that'll come off. Find a new one of them. Right, screwdriver. Ugh. And there it is. That's the first one off. It put up a bit of a fight, as I expected. But now we're going to go over to the other side of the bus and take the one off the near side. Hopefully that'll be a little bit easier. First of all though, I'm having a cup of tea. Right, well I've got my cup of tea. Here it is. And I also managed to get the near side indicator ear off as well. And the good news is it came off a lot easier than the offside one. And I managed to get, out of the 3 bolts that were holding it in place, I managed to get all 3 off without snapping them. So, having a look at them now, I was thinking that I was going to strip the whole things down, take it all to bits inside, and I don't think I need to do any of that because they were working when I took them off the bus. I've no reason to believe they won't be working when they go back on the bus. So all I'm going to do is sort the paintwork out. And to do that, the first job is to get them in the sander. One thing I did notice though, when I took the near side indicator ear off, there's a little sticker here that's from, I can't make out the writing, but it's something Engineering Limited, and it's date stamped 1991. So if that was the last time these were off the bus, they've been on the bus for 30 years. So they're well overdue a little bit of TLC. Right, well that took an awful lot longer than I was expecting. How many times have you heard me say that on these videos? But as you can see, the indicator ears and the brackets have come up really nice. So they're ready for priming and painting. And the reason why they took so long is because, if you may remember, they were black when we took them off the bus. Underneath the black paint was some green paint, and underneath the green paint was red paint. Now the red paint was extremely difficult to get off. It was very, very stubborn. So I assume that is from good old LT days. So I've just got rid of a whole load of LT history there. But I think they come up nice. Going to get some paint out. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get these painted so we can get them back on the bus as soon as we can. Now, if you're wondering why all of a sudden there's 3 indicator ears, don't worry people, you're not seeing things. The third is our spare one. We decided that too needed a bit of TLC, and while we're doing the pair off 1214, it made sense to do this one at the same time. After the primer had dried, it was time for the top coat. For small projects like these, we always use 2-pack spray paint from a can. When you're ready to use the paint, you mix the hardener by twisting this lever at the bottom of the canister, and then give it a good old shake. We love painting small bits this way. It gives a much nicer finish than the standard spray paint from a can. The only downside is once you've mixed the hardener, you've got to use the paint within 12 hours. After that, anything left over has to be binned. Right, so the indicator is they've had 24 hours or so to dry and harden, and as you can see, they've come up really well. I love spraying with that 2-pack spray paint. It goes on so well, it's so easy to do, and the finish is always superb. The spare one, that's ready to go back on the shelf, and these two are ready to go back on the bus. The brackets that hold these on, they've been brush painted in Chiswick cream, so they match the colour of the band. Just waiting for that paint to dry. When that's dry, we'll assemble everything back together again, and these things can go back on the bus, and this is another finishing touch project that will be done. Now, before we can put these back on the bus, do you remember those studs that I snapped when I took them off? Well, they need drilling out, so that's the first job we're going to tackle today.
So, as you saw earlier in the video, Dozy Dave snapped 2 of these fixing bolts that hold the ear on. So what we're going to do is centre drill them to pick up the centre of the bolt, and then drill it out the right size to re-tap it, and then with the taps carefully re-tap the hole so that we can put new fixings in to hold the ear back on. Now we've drilled out the hole, we're going to run a tap through it to re-thread so we can put the bolt back in. So that's the first one redone. Let's just try it with a bolt. There we go.
Dozy Dave. Did you hear that? He called me Dozy Dave. Cheeky little. Right. Indicator ears are ready to go back on the bus. Nicely painted, all dried and hardened. I've got 8 brand new bolts here. I'm going to dip the ends in a little bit of grease so that next time we need to take these off, if indeed there is a next time, Dozy Dave should be able to get them off without snapping the heads. So they're ready to go. I've also made some gaskets to go at the back of the bracket. That'll keep the rain out. Keep the cab nice and dry. Right, let's get these back on the bus. First one ready to go back on. First job, let's put some gasket seal on, keep the rain out. Reconnect the wires. Dip each of those 4 bolts into some grease. That's the first one on. Let's get the bulb and see if it works. Now for the moment of truth. Right, near side done. Let's go do the offside. I have here a present, not for me, for 12/14, but what is in the box? Well, you're about to find out. This might be a clue. You ready for this? Can you tell what it is yet? Here we have 2 brand new ear rubbers, courtesy of the Routemaster Association. They carry these in stock, so all I've got to do is transfer the lenses from the old set onto the new set, and these will go on 1214. As you can see, I mentioned earlier the state of the rubber around here. This is the one that was held on by that horrible thing. Not a lot of rubber left there to keep that in place. So they're going in the bin, or that rubber is going in the bin. This one here can go on the shelf as one of our spares. I mentioned before as well, I did have a spare one of these, but again, typically I can't find it. So that's why I bought 2 new ones from the Routemaster Association, and we're going to put them on the bus. And then this little project, this little finishing touch will be done. Right, I've given everything a clean, taken the lenses off of the old ears. So now everything's had a little chance to dry. I'm just going to put the lenses into the new ears, and then these can go on the bus, and that'll be another project done. This is quite tough to get these lenses back in these ears. These ears, obviously, the rubber's brand new. It's not as pliable as the old rubber. But that's what you want, because you don't want the rainwater getting in, really. There we go. That's the first one done. Let's go put it on the bus. There you go. Doesn't that look so much nicer? That is another finishing touch job done and ticked off the list. Right, well that's all we've got time for in this video. There will be finishing touches part 2 coming out very, very soon. And that's because there's so many more little finishing touch jobs that need to be done on this bus before she enters passenger service. That video will be out soon, but from me and the team, thank you for watching again. Remember, if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Outtakes coming up, but until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye. Bloody ratchet is knackered. First one is always the worst one to get on. Oh, and I bought the wrong fucking screwdriver. Dickhead. If I had a decent fucking screwdriver in this place, it might not. What a load of shit. Nothing is fucking easy on this bus.